thing, but I'm just here for the show.
She's here for the show. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Melissa's here for the show, and this is ShawnQ. Welcome. Shawn, where are you tuning in from?
I am tuning in from Colorado Springs, Colorado.
All right. I'm going to be there at the end of the month, so we better hook up for some ice cream.
Dude, no way.
I know.
Oh, man.
My parents bought a house out there in Windsor, so.
Ice cream and coffee. We're going to make it happen.
There you go. We got it. I'm excited. Okay, good. And Mel, what city are you in today?
I'm in a different city today. You should have seen me change a little bit. I'm house sitting in Ottawa, beautiful Ottawa, Canada. So, yeah.
Gorgeous. Hey, Sarah, welcome in. All right. So today we are bringing you a ShawnQ. I'm so excited. Shawn is my coach and he is awesome. And, you know, it was funny. I was trying to figure out like where we met. And I believe it was in another group that Melissa introduced me to, the Coaches and Creators group with Arnie Gisk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where we met. And that's where I first took, you know, one of your challenges. And I was and you know had all the good stuff since then. Hey, love,
I think I remember this actually because I remember I was on vacation on the East Coast and Sandy messaged me and she's like, "Oh my God, I found this guy. He's super awesome. He's having this free challenge. You should join." That was about a year ago, I think. And, yeah. And then she sent me your link.
That's crazy. I love how small the world is.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, just to tell you guys and people in this group, because they all know, we all know Jane too, Jane Bird. Yeah. We all have this Jane connections. Hopefully she'll join us. She said she was going to try to join us, so we'll see. But anyway, with that, I would love it if you gave an introduction to you, what you do, all of that good stuff, Shawn.
Yeah, so I'm ShawnQ. I am the founder of the Legacy Tribe, as well as the creator of the One Client Away Challenge. And as Sandy mentioned, I'm Sandy's coach. I get to coach incredible people, impactful people like Sandy. And it's been an incredible journey of watching people do things they've never thought possible. I mean, I just had a client land a $200,000 corporate contract. One client. Multiple six figures. We just had another client land a $5,000 client. So no matter where you land on that spectrum, whether it's $2,000 or $200,000, I love teaching and coaching our students to land clients they never even dreamed possible.
That's so awesome. And even I've watched it, you know, like during the coaching and stuff that we were doing a few months back. Yeah, actually it was almost a year ago, right?
Yeah.
That, I mean, just watching it in action was so amazing. And I'll ask you about that later. Like, well, you said 200,000, but even during my time, you know, we had Ray who landed a great $90,000 client just during that one was the training. It wasn't the challenge. It was the training, but it was awesome.
He used what he learned in the challenge to land a $90,000 contract with LinkedIn, like a massive social media platform. He was able to build relationships, leverage those relationships. He had a confident conversation with them that turned into a $90,000 contract. So it's pretty incredible to watch people just do things that still blow me away to watch them do it. So it's pretty incredible.
So awesome. So yesterday, well, actually I've listened to this before, but yesterday somehow you came up on my Facebook watch and I watched your video of, I believe it's how you got started. So maybe like if it was the San Francisco story, that was, okay. So share with us, because that was a fun story. That was really empowering. Like it was encouraging, I should say.
Yeah, so I got started as a media director in a large church in Southern California, and so I learned production. I learned how to build videos and how to run live events, and so we had 27,000 members on a consistent basis, so I knew how to run large events. And I was at a place where I needed to learn how to do business because I was making barely over minimum wage. Like there was no way I can go get an MBA without getting loads of debt. And so I knew if I surrounded myself with people who were already successful, that I'd be the next one. So I looked up and I Googled local business conference and I found one. And it was perfect for me. I went to go buy a ticket and tickets were $5,000 for like the silver package, like not even access to everything, the silver package. So I was like, okay, I can't afford that and I'm not getting into debt. But I scoured their website and I found like a random email address on like some type of code of conduct page. And I emailed them and I said, hey, I can't afford the ticket, but I can move chairs. I can move tables. I can help with registration. I can do whatever it takes to get into the room. I didn't have the resources, but I knew that I could be resourceful. And so they emailed me back and they said, hey, come on down. We definitely could use more volunteers. So I went down and I went to go get directions for the conference. And I realized the conference wasn't local. It was 8 hours away in San Francisco. I was in Southern California. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I can't afford a plane ticket. So I went to my stepdad at the time and we drove up and he was like, let's do it. And my parents are super supportive. So we drove up, stayed in a really crappy motel, like those motels that you can remember how they smell. It was just bad. But I knew I had to be there. So we stayed in this crappy motel and I go and I volunteer. And the day before the event starts, their technical director throws up in his room and he can't do the show. And so literally the guy who's running the entire tech and production part of the show is incapacitated. And so they come and they say, hey, you mentioned you have some experience in production. Can you do this? And I had done that for church for so long. So I end up going and I had the right skill set, the right, know-how. I brought gear just in case they put me in some type of tech role and did the show. 2 weeks later, the CEO calls me and says, Shawn, that was crazy that you were the right person for the right job in the right moment. You literally saved the show. Can we pay you $10,000, fly you out to our next event, put you up in this beautiful suite, and you'll do about 2 days worth of work? At that point, I'm like, oh my, heck yeah. Like, I'm going crazy. I keep calm though. I try to be chill about it. Like, oh yeah, sure, that sounds good. But inside, I'm like, I'm crazy. And so I do this event, and I go from being a volunteer in the back of the room to being a part of the production team in the backstage, meeting people like Gary Vee, Pat Flynn, Ryan Dice, these incredible people who are incredible influencers in business. And so I get this opportunity to build relationships with these people and do work with them. And I eventually discover like, hey, there's some really incredible things that they're doing in marketing. Maybe I shouldn't just produce the show, but should take what I'm learning and apply it. So that's where I started a marketing agency. And that turned into a 6-figure business. And then I discovered that a lot of people struggle with money. They have really toxic relationships with money. They don't know how to price their offers. They oftentimes have conversations where they're like, okay, I'll work with your budget, and then they regret it later, or they're giving unnecessary discounts, and they're doing really great work, but they're not getting paid what that work is worth because of that toxic relationship with money. So we decided, okay, we're going to attack that. I want to solve that problem in the entrepreneurial space because people deserve to get paid what they are worth in the marketplace. And so we created the challenge. We eventually created another branch of our company where we not just do the marketing, but we help people build profitable offers that they feel confident with. And we show them how to have sales conversations that don't feel sleazy or icky, but it's like fun. And they're laughing during the process and they're enjoying it. And so we want to make landing clients the easiest it's ever been. And that is how it kind of led to that point.
That was such a great story. I don't think I read the story about I got to the part in the video. I don't know. I don't think it should, because I listened to the whole thing about the whole, hey, let me pay you more money and send you here. That was what an awesome opportunity. So tell us a little bit about, I did tell everybody that we're going to talk about this challenge that's coming up starting next week, right? And this is your invite, you guys. This is where to be next week. But for sure, tell us a little bit about it. Like what we're going to learn, what we're going to do besides have fun, because we do always have fun.
So Sandy, I know you took the challenge. Mel, did you get a chance to take the challenge yet?
Well, no, because I was on vacation when Sandy told me about it, and I remember trying to watch. It was a road trip, and I was trying to watch, and the kids were in the back seat, and it was just no. I remember it was very intense too. I remember I watched half of the first live video, and it was an hour long. Yeah. So I remember it was intensive.
I love it. So, Sarah, Love, I see a lot of people on the stream. Awesome. So incredible about the challenge is it literally is jam-packed full of actionable insight. I'm not talking theory. I'm not fluffing, like creating fluff material. Like we're not showing principles or ideas. I'm literally showing you, okay, step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. And I want to hold you by the hand for 5 days and be your official coach for 5 days so you can land your next high-paying client. And day 1, we talk about where to find people who are willing to pay high price. That's one of the biggest challenges we see. Where do I find these people? Where are they hiding? What rock do I need to turn over to find a client? So we show you exactly how to find them. Number 2, on day 2, we talk about how to create what's called a buying atmosphere. If you're trying to sell something, you're already doing it wrong, because you should create instead an atmosphere where people are excited to buy. There's a difference. People hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. So if you can create an excited buyer as opposed to someone you're trying to sell to, which we show you on day 2, the whole game shifts for you, because you're no longer trying to push something. People are actually pushing their way to you. And then on day 3, I actually show you a real sales conversation I had where I landed the client, and you literally get to watch me ask questions, overcome objections, handle the, oh, I don't know if I can pay that amount, oh, can you work with my budget? Answer every single one of those and get to what I call a heck yes sale, where they're like, heck yes, sign me up, Shawn. I love it. And then on day 4, we dive even deeper into the psychology of sales and objections. I literally show you what's happening in your brain when you're in a sales conversation so you can have the awareness to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. And then on the last day, day 5, I show you the top 10 reasons why a business fails. And I give you the blueprint. I give you the entire roadmap to building a successful business as a coach or a consultant or as a service provider. So all of that is in day 5 and so much more. We give you free PDFs, free downloadables. Like I'm live. The trainings are typically 45 minutes to about 60 minutes. And then I do Q&A. So I want to answer every single question you have. And I want to say we have been doing this challenge. We've done this challenge about 10 times now. And every single time, I have people who've taken the challenge 10 times because they're like, Shawn, it changes and it gets better and better and better every single time.
It really does. And that's what I have to say is that, I've taken millions of challenges, when you first get started and you're just like taking anything free on, and none of it was actionable. None of it until I sat through yours. And when I, okay, I even had my own objections, like, I can't do this. And then I just like, just do it. Shawn said to do it. So I'm doing it. And when it works, you're like, oh, man, are you kidding me? So yeah, so that was one of the first things that I really saw was like, okay, there was actionable steps. You took so much time. Like you said, it's, at 45 minutes to 60 minutes and then Q&A, like I was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss this. I don't have enough time. I didn't schedule enough time, but like full blown and just so much value that really, really was actionable and that it created results within a free challenge. That was what really amazed me. So yeah. I was really super thankful, and you were sold. You sold.
I want to kind of touch on that too, because a lot of people think the challenge is going to be really like, I'm a very passionate and excitable person. As you can see, I make all the facial expressions. And the reason why is because I want you to be engaged. I don't want you to show up and be like, oh my gosh, this is the most monotone and boring thing in the world. I want you to know exactly what to do, but I also want you to have fun with it. One of our big brand promises is extraordinary fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to celebrate. I'm going to put a little bit of fire under your feet. I'm going to kick you where it kind of hurts and get you a little uncomfortable. But that's because I know what's on the other side of that discomfort. So if you need like a good kick in the pants, you need some fire under the feet, you need to get out of that comfort zone and do the things that you know are going to lead to a client. Because a lot of people right now, let me tell you something, Sandy, they're wasting their time doing the wrong things. And so if you want to do the right things in the right order and do it with a coach and with an entire community. I mean, today, I think just now, we're adding 200 new challengers into the Facebook group today. That's just today. So if you want to get connected with an incredible community and get coached for free for an entire week, you got to take this challenge.
You do. What would be like a reason that, people are stumbling over not getting clients? Like, what would be some of the top reasons?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different things. Number one, they don't have an offer that's sellable. They're just trying to sell something based off of a gut instinct, right? They think what most people do is they have an idea and it's $1 billion idea to them. They're like, okay, awesome. And so what they do is they start to build a website around the idea. They start to build a brand. They get the logo. They get, a video animation about it. They, build a Facebook page around it. And they haven't proven whether or not that offer is even marketable and whether or not that offer even is going to sell, like people actually want to buy it. So number one is making sure the offer is profitable. And we do something in the challenge that shows you how to prove that the offer is actually going to sell. The second reason is a message misalignment. So most people, I'll give you an example. I worked with a client within our marketing agency, and he's a 7-figure book publishing company. And what he was saying, most of his market and most of the message saying, I'm going to help you write a book and publish your book, which is like what he was doing, practically speaking. But when we talked to his customers and clients, what we discovered was most of them, if not all of them, said he helped us finish our book and become published authors. So write and publish your book is different than finish your book and become a published author. It's the same thing, right? You're publishing the book, like it's the same thing, but the way they communicated their problem was different than the way the business communicated the problem. So you have to make sure that your message and the way you're communicating is the same way that they communicate. So making sure your message aligns with your market, making sure your offer is profitable. And then number 3, you're just wasting your time on things that don't matter, right? You're tinkering with your website, you're trying the funnel, you're getting distracted by shiny object syndrome. Oh, this person's doing this or this person's doing this. And you're not doing the direct 1, 2, 3 steps that actually lead to a high paying client, which we cover in the challenge as well.
Wow. It's so true. I think at one point, at any point in my business, been there, done that with all 3 of those things, especially the tinkering,
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that really got me. I'm like, okay, I need to be doing money-making activities. So for sure. So out of all of that, like you said, you ran this challenge 10 times already. I've been a part of, I think 4 of them or 3 of them. I can't remember, going on 4, probably 4 or 5 now. But like, what's been like the biggest transformation? Like, who's been the biggest transformation?
Yeah, so Patrice. Patrice has been incredible. In 5 days, she literally went from nada, 0, nothing, zilch, to a $10,000 dream client. And I still remember the live stream she did and the post she made in the Facebook group saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys will never believe it. Like, it's in a bank account, like it's there." And that's always incredible to see people landing clients, which happens all the time in the challenge. But even more than that, it's seeing people step out of their comfort zone. It's seeing people stop, making a decision to stop being the best kept secret, to really shine and let the world know, hey, this is how I can change your world, change your business, change your life. And I want to do it with you. And so it's pretty incredible to see people step into a role that they just weren't stepping into before, and seeing people make progress alone. I mean, I've had people take the challenge who've said, Shawn, I've made more progress these 5 days than I have the last year. I've seen people say, Shawn, you made business exciting again for me. I finally know what I'm doing. And those types of messages are like, those are the ones that like get me teary-eyed and really make me emotional, that we screenshot and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep that for a rainy day, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's so true. And it is amazing, like just to have a system. So like for me, I didn't have that, like that process to do it. I kind of had it all pieced out, but again, that comes from not from taking all the free stuff and you know what I'm saying? But even within your free challenge, you just pieced it out. And I was just amazed with that because I had others to compare it to. And it really was a massive difference, And even now I'm still like, after one of your challenges, I did a Facebook ads one and I was like, oh, this is so depressing. Oh,
Well, I'm sorry for whoever did that Facebook ad challenge. You know, we have a brand promise, world-class everything. One of our brand promises is everything we do is going to be world-class, first class, and we're going to have a standard of excellence that we meet. Why? Because we get the opportunity to work with real people solving real problems. And to me, that's changing the world. When I get to empower someone like you, Sandy, and you, Mel, who are changing people's lives through social media, who's showing people how to show up, who's giving people access and empowering them to reach a greater world than without those social media tools. I mean, the impact you guys get to create is like grandfather to me because I've helped. And so that's why our company is called the Legacy Tribe, because I'm not in this for the money. I mean, yes, we make money. We love making money because I get to give a lot of money to our church, to nonprofits, to organizations at the front line of world hunger, of sex trafficking. I mean, these are people who are preventing and restoring the world as it should be. So, of course, we love making money, but we genuinely want to create legacy. I want my kids and my kids and my kids, the people I'll never meet this side of life, to look back and say, wow, my great-great-grandfather, ShawnQ, recorded this video and it's still impacting people's lives. And so we want to help you do the same thing. Sandy, Mel, Love, Sarah, everybody else who's watching the stream. And that's why we do it.
I love it. I love it. Do you have any questions, Mel?
No, I think I resonate with a lot of things that Shawn shared earlier, especially like I've been doing a lot of free calls because I'm doing some market research for my own business, and money and confidence seems to be very it's the same problem everybody's been having. Well, anyways, the people that I'm talking to, they struggle with the confidence, like the showing up online and their prices. Like when people tell me how much they're charging for their services, I'm just like, that's crazy. So I can totally see how like this challenge would help those people. And I have referred a few people to your challenge. So I hope they do sign up.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, what's great about it as well is I had the same story. My first coaching client, I sold for $10 a month. $10 a month for 3 months. I gave them 12 coaching calls, 2-hour coaching calls each. And I was an incredible coach. I knew I was incredible at the skill set that I had, but I sucked at talking about money. And they said, okay, they paid in full, $30, and I immediately regretted it. So it was my first pay in full client of $30. But I eventually discovered after that first phone call, I realized, oh my gosh, this is like barely half a tank of gas, and I still have to pay taxes on this. So there's no way I can like create a business until I overcome this money issue. And so I understand the fear and the anxiety that comes up. I remember being on the call and my hand shaking. I'm so glad it wasn't a video because I was literally shaking and sweating, and I was supposed to charge $200 a month, which still is pretty low for coaching. And I cut it to $10 because I was so afraid of rejection and so afraid of hearing no. And so I know there's so many people who are listening who feel the same way. I know what that feels like, and I want to help you move past it.
Can you do
That's crazy. I don't even think I would hire someone that would charge me $10 a month for coaching. I would be like, no.
So, why is it so low? There's got to be a clue.
Yeah. There's something wrong somewhere, for sure.
And what's really cool about that is every high-paying client is in the same place. I will never hire, for example, we just hired a copywriter. I'll never hire a copywriter less than $2,000. Why? Because I want them to know they have confidence in what they're doing. And I want them to know that they take this serious. I'll never hire a coach less than $5,000. Why? Because I want to know this person knows what they're doing. They feel confident in their pricing. And if they're not confident saying their price, I'm not going to be confident paying their price. And so let me just say that for everyone here. If you're not confident saying your price, they won't be confident paying your price.
That's mind blowing. Mind blowing. That's crazy. And Sarah says, thank you for being so honest, Shawn. I go through this as I'm just starting my business. So yeah, the beginnings, that at the beginnings you really need to. And I did, grow in confidence during the challenge and during coaching specifically, just knowing, like realizing we have the worth, and it was getting over the whole money thing and stuff like that. And I'm actually pretty good at it. I'm just like,
yeah,
you don't want it? See ya. No.
I love it. And you actually, we coached. I coached you, and what's great about like the coaching experience is we practiced the sales call. So it's like, okay, Sandy, sell to me. And the first time, Sandy's like shaking, like, I don't know.
I broke the pen. I was pretty
after,
like this, and I broke the pen.
And then afterwards, I'm like, Sandy, oh my, I want to buy it. How much is this? Give it to me. I need it. And so it's really cool to see that progress as well. So Sarah, I can only be authentic. I can only be honest about the experience I had, because I know as soon as I can reveal that vulnerability, it gives you permission to do the same and say, hey, I'm there too. Let's get over this together. So thank you for that comment, Sarah.
Yeah. So any more questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments real quick as we kind of close up here. But I definitely want to make sure where, like we can connect with you also. We're going to put a link in that you can join the challenge. We'll also have you connect. Where's the platform you actually really like to be on social media?
So I have a one platform strategy because I can't be everywhere. It is literally impossible. Let me give you a little bit of insight. Gary Vee has 40 people on his staff full time to create content and do his stuff on a consistent basis on every single platform. I don't have that kind of budget. So it's just me right now, right? And I have an intern doing it. So I have a one platform strategy, and we're always on Facebook, specifically Facebook groups. So I love building community. I'm a community builder. And so the best way to get a hold of me is to take the challenge. Click the link that Sandy is going to share with you. Sandy, I think you're going to be in there engaging as well. So you'll be able to engage with Sandy. So click that link, get connected with Sandy in the challenge. And I'm so excited to be your official coach for a week. Absolutely great. And then you can follow me on Instagram as well at Hey ShawnQ. I'm kind of active there. We're kind of building it right now. Sandy's getting me to like all these cool tricks, and like I watched your story today about Reels. That's like a new feature, which is really cool. So, but I am so socially, like, if you just don't get social media, Sandy is the person. Sandy and Melissa are the people to follow, like 100%. And then if you are like totally socially like just not there, you're just not a tech savvy. Like, what's great about the whole challenge content is I don't require any tech. You're not going to do any Facebook ads. You're not going to put together a funnel. Like, we're not going to do any of that. I'm just going to get you the client. And so, Sandy, I think you have a specific link. Your partner link you're going to be sharing. So make sure you click on that link to get signed up and go from there.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna delete that one. Sorry, I didn't realize that.
Not gonna be the right one. I even need a Bitly to make it small, to make it shorter. I wanted to add really, really fast about the whole Gary Vaynerchuk thing with his content. And what's really crazy about that, the 40 people doing his stuff. And what's sad about it is I do follow him everywhere just to see what it is. And it's not even like great it's not the right stuff on the right platforms, like the best practices and things like that. So really, I love that you are taking on, that one platform, focus, because you're hitting your clients there, which actually amazes me because, you're a young guy, and Facebook, usually people your age are not on Facebook, but if that's where it's at, that's where your target market is, that's where you go, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. But yeah, just definitely know that the whole Gary Vee thing doesn't work for it.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, Sandy, because when Shawn mentioned Gary Vee, it was the first thing that popped up in my head was like, oh my God, his branding, his imagery, everything is like so awful to like my designer eyes. It's just like, no. It's not on all the platforms.
Yes. Gosh, it's crazy. And then there's some that he doesn't like, that they're repurposing parts, and it's like, this is not even right for this. Like, why are you even here? And then, so definitely.
Hey, he's making the money though. He's making more money than all of us together. So
it's not for his content, that's for sure. It's not for miscontent. But anyway, good. All right. So we'll get that link, the right link in there so that you can join the challenge. Starts Monday. Put aside the time, you guys. This is really where it's going to be. I'll be there as well and all week long, and we'll be having some fun. Shawn, thank you.
I just wanted to say real quick,
Okay.
I saw several people signed up for the challenge. So make sure you sign up again using the link that Sandy signs up or sends. Just so we can track, oh, Sandy, awesome. You're connected with Sandy. We can connect you guys in the challenge. We want to make sure everybody gets connected to the right thing. So make sure you click that link. And if you've already signed up again using that link.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Awesome. That is it. And if you have more questions, of course, we'll be in the comments and all that good stuff to answer those for you if you're watching on the replay. And with that, you guys have an amazing day. Make it. Bye, guys.
Bye.